Hi, this is Chef Ernest Cervantes, and today we're going to be making one of my all-time favorite dishes. It's got a little Latin influence on it. It's a chili lime marinated pork chop. And I'm talking these bad boys are about an inch, inch and a half thick. On top it off with a really good fresh watermelon salsa. First thing we're going to do is get out our pork chops. You can actually go to your local butcher. This is where I got these at. And get double thick pork chops. I don't know about you, but there's nothing better than getting these big monstrosities of pork chops. And if you can see this, about an inch thick. What you want them to do is they're center cut loins, and they cut them to about an inch, inch and a half thick. So you're thinking more of a porterhouse or a nice thick ribeye. The reason why you want them thick like this is because we want something meaty. You don't want those little thin ones that your grandma does that she pan fries. So we want something meaty today. So the first thing I want to do is get our marinade, or our chili lime marinade. But I want to wash these off because sometimes you go to the butcher's and they tend to get a film on them. So I always like to clean my meat just like your vegetables. And I always like to, especially with such a thick cut of meat, which we're using pork today, I always like to marinate the day before for going to grill. So if you're going to grill, Friday night, you might as well do it Thursday afternoon. So the first thing we're going to add is chopped jalapenos. And I love heat, so I'm going to put a little extra. Cumin. Lime juice. Get that zestiness going on there. Oh yeah, baby. Chili powder. Now, the chili powder that I'm using here is a light chili powder. And the reason we don't use dark chili powder on this marinade is because we don't want them to look so dark. A light chili powder has more of a paprika look. And it's got a little smokiness. And of course, garlic. And a little oil. And all we're trying to do here is pretty much make a marinade, but yet a paste at the same time. I really like to incorporate a little oil, not too much, because we're going to be grilling these bad boys, so you don't want too much of a oil base due to the fact that they might get some flare-ups when we're cooking, and that's the last thing we want to do is burn our meat. So, again, my trusty old marinating tool. It's a non-reactive. And it's easier to maintain, and plus at the end of the day we can throw it away, which is always a plus in my book. So we get these big boys in here, and we'll go ahead and throw the marinade in here. Kind of want to seal it down. Want to get all the air out. Move them around. Make sure the marinade's all there. We're going to set these and let them go to sleep tonight and let them get happy, happy, happy. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. Okay, so it's day 2 of our epic pork chop dinner that we're going to make today, and it's going to be our watermelon salsa. You can make any kind of salsa, but I love watermelon salsa during the summer because it reminds me of my friends down south in South Texas, where they have some of the greatest, most juicy watermelon that you can possibly think of. So every time this season around July and August, I always think of great watermelons from down in the south. So we're going to go and start our watermelon salsa. It's about a lot of components, and I think every layer of flavor is just its own little choir singing. So we're going to start off with a little bit of cilantro, some ginger. Oh, I love me some ginger. Brown sugar. I think pork chops and brown sugar were cousins in afterlife. A little balsamic vinegar. Some rice wine vinegar. Some fresh chopped scallions. Some basil. Oh yeah, it smells so good. A little honey to sweeten it up. I know we have the brown sugar in there, but I think the brown sugar accentuates with the vinegar, so a little honey that goes a little bit far. But what I like to do, and of course I'm a big chili head, I like to say some of the jalapenos from our marinade. I'm going to whisk it around. Pretty much what we're trying to do here is just trying to break down the brown sugars and the honey, and then we salt and pepper to taste. Then we add all our watermelon in there. Oh yeah, look at that. Now, what I like to do at the very end, and I don't like to add the feta cheese, even though the recipe says that we need to add the feta cheese, I like to wait till right before we serve it, due to the fact that with all that acidity, it breaks down and becomes a lot of juice. As you can see here, there's a lot of juice, and what will happen is it just makes our feta cheese look really, really bad. So we're going to wait until the end on doing that. As you can see, this liquid, it's going to get even better and better as we let it sit. So we're going to put it in the refrigerator for an hour. And next we got to work on our smoke. It's going to be a really cool thing what I'm going to do here. Something that's going to knock your socks off. So why don't you follow me over here. Today we're going to be using maple and apple as our wood chips. Two of the greatest flavors that you can think of when we use pork. Pork chops, pork butt, whole hog. It doesn't matter. These love pork just like pork chops and applesauce. So what we're going to do is make a hybrid, and we're going to use both today. So we put equal parts of apple and maple, and we'll put it in this corner. Again, it's going to take about 20 minutes, so we go ahead and get this ready in here. We're going to pull out those pork chops and get them ready for the grill. So it's been about 20 minutes, give or take a couple of minutes. Now we're going to go ahead and put the pork chops on the grill. When you open up the grill, it's smoking, we're ready to rock and roll. Oh yeah. So we're going to go ahead and put 6 minutes on each side. And with that smoke infused, it's going to be killer. If you want to make these crazy grill marks, as I call them, think of your grill as a clock. You want to put your meat at 10 o'clock, and then after 3 minutes, put it at 2 o'clock. Oh yeah. The grill's been on and the pork chops have been on for about 6 minutes. Like I said, it's going to take 12 minutes, but right now we're going to check up on them and flip them over. And this is what happens. Oh yeah, baby. Look at that. Hombre, that's your mouth. That's some good stuff right here. So you got those really great grill marks, and I always say diamonds are a grill's best friend. So you got the smoke going, we got the pork chops going, we got great presentation with the grill marks. Now we got another 6 minutes. We're going to do the same thing. 10 o'clock, 3 minutes, 2 o'clock, 3 minutes. We should be ready to rock and roll. Okay, so it's been about 12 minutes. We're going to check on those pork chops and see if they're ready. Oh yeah, baby. Pork chops got a nice sear marks on them. You can smell the aroma from the smoke, the flavor from the chili lime. These are some epic pork chops here. I like to rest them for about a good 10 to 15 minutes, and the reason why is you got to treat these pork chops like if it's a nice ribeye or a nice T-bone. They're so infused with so much juices that if you cut them right now, they'll just dry up. So the best thing, I like to let them sit for about 5 to 10 minutes and then serve them. So our pork chops have been resting for about 5 to 10 minutes. Looking awesome. I'm telling you, if you could smell this, knock your socks off. So now all we have left to do is plate up. So since we're doing it family style, I like to stack them 2 deep on each side. Oh yeah. And come back with the watermelon salsa, and by now you can tell how it's a little bit more liquidy, so just gonna put it right down the middle. And this is a little trick of the trades, as you would say, like chefs like to do, is the natural juices from the pork come out, and that's where I like to add just a little bit of the sauce. And the reason why is now it makes its own pork flavored sauce, so it comes out really killer like this. And remember how I told you about the feta cheese and the sesame seeds? I always like to put it at the end so it's not so bulky, and it makes it pop. Sesame seeds give it a little bit of that nice oomph. So there you have it. Chili lime pork chops or watermelon salsa.